Okay. Okay. So, um, I need to just say this right away because the energy is too strong to ignore. Something is in motion for you right now, something that cannot be stopped. And I'm not being dramatic, I'm not exaggerating for effect. I'm telling you, there's a momentum building around your life that has its own force, its own direction, its own unstoppable nature. And you you're lucky, not in a maybe things will work out way, but in a the universe has specifically chosen you for something significant way. And before you dismiss this, before you think, yeah, right, nothing ever works out for me, before you let your past disappointments convince you this doesn't apply to you, just stay with me. Because what I'm picking up on isn't wishful thinking. It's not generic positivity. It's specific. It's tangible. It's the kind of energy that makes my body respond physically when I tune into it. So let's explore this. What's in motion that can't be stopped? Why you specifically? Why now? And what you need to understand about being in the path of unstoppable momentum. Take what resonates here. This is about recognizing what's already happening. You remain in control of your choices, always. This is simply an invitation to wake up to the luck that's surrounding you right now. Let me start by explaining what I mean by can't be stopped, because I'm not talking about fate or destiny in some rigid way. I'm talking about momentum, about forces that have been building, about energy that's reached a tipping point. You know how a river flows? You can try to dam it, you can try to redirect it, but the water's going to move. It has to move. That's its nature. That's the kind of energy I'm sensing around you. Things that have been set in motion, things that are going to unfold whether you try to control them or not. And here's the wild part: you might not even be fully aware of what's building. You might be going about your normal life, thinking nothing's changing, thinking you're still stuck. But underneath, beneath the surface of your awareness, wheels are turning, pieces are moving, alignments are happening. And soon, very soon, what's been building in the invisible is going to break through into the visible. And when it does, you're going to understand what I mean by unstoppable. Let me ask you something. Have you been feeling restless lately? Like something's coming, but you can't quite name it? Have you been having these moments where you catch yourself thinking something's different, but you can't pinpoint what? That's not anxiety. That's not your imagination. That's your system responding to energetic shifts. Your body knows before your mind knows. It's picking up on the momentum that's building. It's sensing that things are about to move in ways they haven't been moving. And if you've been feeling this, if there's been this low level hum of anticipation or nervousness or excitement that you can't explain, that's confirmation. That's your confirmation that what I'm saying isn't just words. It's real, it's happening. You know what else I'm picking up on? The luck aspect. And I need to be clear about what I mean by lucky. I'm not saying everything's going to be easy. I'm not saying you won't have to show up or make choices or do work. But I am saying you're in a period where things are conspiring in your favor, where doors are opening that don't usually open, where opportunities are appearing that don't usually appear, where the right people are showing up at the right time, where circumstances are aligning in ways that feel almost too perfect to be coincidence. That's luck, not the lottery kind, the synchronicity kind, the I was in exactly the right place at exactly the right time kind. Mm, the I can't believe this worked out so perfectly kind. Let me paint you a picture. You've been working on something, or hoping for something, or waiting for something, and it's felt like nothing's happening, like you're shouting into the void. But what you didn't realize is that every action you took, every intention you set, every moment you kept going, even when you wanted to give up, all of that was accumulating, building, creating momentum. And that momentum has now reached critical mass. It's tipped over the edge. And now it's moving on its own. It doesn't need you to push anymore. It's carrying you. And that feeling of being carried by momentum instead of having to create it yourself, that's what's coming. That's what's already starting to happen for some of you. Now, let me be specific about what this might look like, because unstoppable momentum shows up differently for different people. For some of you, this is career, professional breakthrough. You've been working in obscurity, and suddenly people are noticing. Your work is getting traction. Opportunities are multiplying faster than you can process them. You're going from, will anyone ever see what I do, to, I can't keep up with the demand, almost overnight. For others, this is financial. Money that's been tight is loosening, not just a little, but in ways that actually change your life. Debt getting cleared, income increasing, unexpected windfalls, opportunities to earn that you didn't see coming. The financial stress that's been your constant companion, it's dissolving, and it's happening faster than you thought possible. For some, this is relational, the right person entering your life, or someone who's been in your life suddenly showing up completely differently. Dynamics that have been stuck for years suddenly shifting, healing happening in relationships you thought were beyond repair, or new connections forming that feel significant, meant, like the universe specifically arranged for you to meet this person at this time. And for some of you, it's all of it. Multiple areas of your life shifting simultaneously, your whole reality reorganizing itself, which can be overwhelming, which can feel like too much, but which is also exactly what needs to happen, because sometimes transformation has to be total, complete, all at once. Um, Let me slow down for a second, because I want to address something. Some of you might be reading this and feeling scared, thinking, I don't want things to be unstoppable. I want control. I want to know what's happening. I want to manage the pace. And I get that. The unknown is scary. Rapid change is disorienting. Feeling like things are moving faster than you can process is legitimately uncomfortable. But here's what I need you to understand. What's unstoppable isn't working against you, it's working for you. The momentum that's building, and it's carrying you toward what you've been asking for, toward what you need, toward the life you're meant to be living. So, yes, it might feel intense. Yes, you might feel like you're not in the driver's seat, but you're not being carried toward disaster. You're being carried toward alignment. Trust that, even when it's uncomfortable. Let me ask you another question. What have you been asking for? What have you been praying for? hoping for, working toward. Because I feel like many of you have been asking for the same things for months, maybe years. And it's felt like those prayers weren't being heard, like those intentions weren't landing anywhere. But they were, every single one. They were accumulating, building pressure, creating the conditions for what's about to break through. And now, now it's time. Now the answer is coming. Not in some vague future timeline, but soon, imminently, in ways you might not recognize at first because they don't look exactly like what you pictured, but they are the answer. Trust that. You know what else I'm sensing? This this luck, this momentum. It's not it's not random. You're not lucky because the universe randomly picked you out of a hat. You're lucky because you kept going. Because you didn't give up when you had every reason to give up. Because you kept showing up even when you couldn't see results. Because you held on to hope even when hope felt stupid. Because you did the work even when the work felt pointless. That's why you're lucky. Because you earned your position in the flow of this momentum. You built the capacity to receive what's coming, and now it's coming. And you get to experience what it feels like when persistence meets timing. When preparation meets opportunity. Let me share something with you. Unstoppable momentum. It requires surrender, not the giving up kind, the letting go kind. When a wave is carrying you, you don't fight it, you don't try to swim against it. You ride it, you move with it, you let it take you where it's going. And right now, there's a wave building under you. And the smartest thing you can do is stop fighting, stop trying to control every detail, stop micromanaging how things unfold. Just ride it. Stay present, stay open, let it carry you. Because the more you try to control unstoppable momentum, the more exhausting it becomes. The more you resist what's trying to happen, the more painful the transformation. But if you surrender, if you trust, if you flow with it, it can actually be exhilarating. It can be the best experience of your life. Drop a comment if you're someone who struggles with control. If letting go and trusting feels almost impossible for you, because I think many of you are in this category, and recognizing it is the first step to working with it instead of against it. Let's sit with this for a moment. What if everything you've been through has positioned you perfectly for what's coming? What if all the delays weren't rejections but redirections? What if all the closed doors were protecting you from wrong paths? What if everything that didn't work out was actually working out, just in ways you couldn't see yet? And what if now, finally, you're going to see why it all happened the way it did? What if the timing that felt wrong was actually perfect? Because I feel like that's part of what's about to be revealed. The why, the reason, um, the understanding of how all the pieces fit together. And when you see it, when it becomes clear, you're going to be in awe. You're going to understand that you were never forgotten, never overlooked. You were always being guided, always being prepared, always moving toward this moment. Let me offer you something practical. Because knowing unstoppable momentum is coming is one thing. Being ready for it is another. First, clear space, physically and energetically. Get rid of clutter, end commitments that don't serve you, release relationships that are draining, create room in your life for what's coming. Because if you're already overflowing, there's nowhere for the new to land. Make space. Second, strengthen your foundation. When things start moving fast, you need to be grounded. So, whatever grounds you, your routines, your practices, your people, your connection to something larger than yourself, double down on those things now. Because when the momentum hits, you'll need that anchor. You'll need something that keeps you stable while everything else is shifting. Third, get clear on your values. When opportunities start showing up rapidly, you need to know how to evaluate them. You need to know what's a yes and what's a no. And that clarity comes from knowing what matters to you, what you stand for, what you're not willing to compromise on. Get clear now, before the momentum arrives, so you can move with discernment instead of just reacting to everything that shows up. Fourth, build your support system. You're going to need people, people who celebrate with you, people who ground you, people who tell you the truth, people who've been where you're going. Make sure those people are in place, because success without support can be isolating, and you don't want to go through this transformation alone. You know what else I'm picking up on? Some of you might already be experiencing early signs, small things that don't seem connected but are a conversation that opens a door, an unexpected message, an opportunity that appears out of nowhere, a sense that things are shifting even though you can't point to anything concrete. Those aren't random, those are the leading edge of what's coming. Pay attention to them, follow them. They're breadcrumbs leading you toward the momentum. And if you haven't experienced any signs yet, that's okay too. Sometimes the momentum builds quietly before it becomes obvious. Sometimes there's no warning. You just wake up one day and everything's different. So don't worry if you're not seeing signs. Just stay open, stay ready. Stay available for the moment when what's been building finally breaks through. Let me ask you one more question. What would it feel like to actually believe you're lucky? Not in a superstitious way, but in a things work out for me way. In a I'm in the right place at the right time way. Because I feel like many of you have internalized the opposite. You believe you're unlucky. You believe things don't work out for you. You believe you're always just missing opportunities. And those beliefs, they create self-fulfilling prophecies. They cause you to miss actual opportunities because you're so convinced they're not for you. But what if you chose to believe differently? What if you started operating from the assumption that you are lucky, that good things do happen to you, that you are in the flow of positive momentum? How would that change what you notice, what you say yes to, how you show up? Try it, even if you don't fully believe it yet. Act as if you're lucky. Move as if things are working in your favor. Respond to opportunities as if they're meant for you. And watch how reality starts to match that belief. Take what resonates from this reading. Leave what doesn't. And remember that you remain in control of your awareness, of your responses, of how you ride this wave of momentum when it arrives. Something unstoppable is in motion for you. You are lucky, not because you're special in some exclusive way, but because you've positioned yourself in the path of good things, because you've done the work, because you've stayed open, because you've kept going when others would have quit. And now you get to experience what happens when all of that converges with perfect timing. Trust your inner knowing. Trust that what's coming is for you. Trust that you can handle it. Trust that it can't be stopped because it's not supposed to be stopped. It's supposed to carry you